Worksheet number 3, oxidation number. Question number 1. The oxidation number of sulfur is 0. You have to remember rule number 1 for the oxidation numbers. So the oxidation number equals 0 for elements. Element means one type of atom. So which of these one type of atom? Here you have two types of atoms, calcium and sulfur, and here one type of atom, and all the examples here different types of atoms. So the answer is B. Question 2. In the compound RbBrO3, the oxidation number for bromine. So you have to know that it's a neutral compound, so the summation of the oxidation numbers for all elements equal 0. So here rubidium is in group 1. Group 1, the charge is positive 1. Here for BrX, you have to calculate it. And oxygen, the rule for oxygen, it carry -2 charge, and you have 3 oxygen atoms, so -2, -2, -2, the total is -6. Again, it's a neutral compound, so the summation of the oxidation numbers must be equal to 0. So 1 plus x minus 6 equal 0. So x minus 5 equal 0. So x equal 5. So the oxidation number of bromine is positive 5. So the answer is D. Now question 3. Which of the following ions can form a compound with aluminum of the type Al2X3? Here you have to find the oxidation number of X. So from oxidation number you can choose one of these. So in this compound you have 2 aluminum atoms and 3 X atoms. Aluminum is in group 3 in the periodic table, so it carry positive 3. So here the total positive charge equal to positive 3. It's a neutral compound. Neutral compound means when you add positive charge to negative charge, the total is 0, or positive charge equal to negative charge. So if the total is positive 6, so here the total negative charge is -6. So here you have 3 X atoms with total -6. So each must carry -2 charge. So the charge of X is -2. So which of these carry -2 charge? It's D, so the answer is D. Question number 4. The oxidation number of manganese is +2 in which of the following compounds? Okay, for the first one, you have 2 potassium atoms, 1 manganese, and 4 oxygen atoms. Potassium is in group 1, so +1. Oxygen, according to the rule, carry -2. And manganese, you have to calculate the oxidation number. So here, total positive charge equal to positive 2 for potassium, and here X, and the negative charge equal to negative 8. It's a neutral compound, so when you add oxidation numbers to each other, the total is 0. So 2 plus X minus 8 must be equal to 0. So X minus 6 equals 0. So X equal 6. So here in this compound, the charge of manganese is positive 6. The question asks about which of these, or in which case manganese carry positive 2. So not 1. What about the second one? Cl2. It contains 1 manganese and 2 chlorine atoms. So chlorine is in group 7 in the periodic table, so it carry negative 1. So here the charge is negative 2. And here X, you have to calculate it. It's a neutral compound, so when you add charges to each other, it must be equal to 0. So X minus 2 equals 0, X equal 2. So here in this compound, the oxidation number of manganese equal 2. So it's correct one. Now the third one, MnO. Oxygen, according to rule, the charge of oxygen is negative 2. So it's a neutral compound. When you add the charge of manganese to the charge of oxygen, must be equal to 0. So the charge of manganese equal 2. So correct. So the correct answers 2 and 3. Which of these 2 and 3? D. Now question 5. In which of the following compounds does nitrogen have the lowest oxidation number? Okay, the first one, HNO3. HNO3. So the charge of oxygen is negative 2. You have 3 oxygen atoms, so negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. The total is negative 6. Here the charge of hydrogen is positive 1. You have one hydrogen atom, so positive 1. And here X. So 1 plus X minus 6 equals 0. So here X equal 5. Okay, what about the second example? HNO2. The charge of oxygen is negative 2. You have 2 oxygen atoms, so negative 2, negative 2, so the total is negative 4. The charge of hydrogen is positive 1. You have 1 hydrogen, so positive 1, and here X. It's a neutral compound. So 1 plus X minus 4 equal 0, so X equal 3. Now NO2, the charge of oxygen is negative 2. You have 2 oxygen atoms, so negative 2 and negative 2, the total is negative 4. And here X. So X minus 4 equals 0, X equal to 4. Now N2O2. Here the charge of oxygen is negative 2. You have 4 oxygen, sorry, 2 oxygen atoms, so the total is -4, and here x minus 4 equal 0, so x equal 4, so here x equal 4. You have 2 nitrogen atoms with total +4, so each carry +2 charge. Now the last example, N2O. So here the charge of oxygen is -2. You have 1 oxygen atom, so -2, and here x minus 2 equals 0, so x equal 2. So here x equal 2. You have 2 nitrogen atoms with total 2, so each carry +1 charge. So which of these has the lowest oxidation number? In the first example, the oxidation number is 5, the second one is 3, 4, 2, and 1. So this compound has the lowest oxidation number of nitrogen. So the answer is E. Question 6. What is the oxidation number of sulfur in Na2SO3? Okay, it contains 2 sodium atoms, 1 sulfur, and 3 oxygen. The charge of sodium, it's in group 1, so +1. Oxygen, according to rule, -2. So here the total is -6, and here +2, and here x. It's a neutral compound, so 2 plus x minus 6 equal 0. So x minus 4 equals 0, so x equal 4. So the oxidation number of sulfur 4. So B. The oxidation number of Bi bismuth in NaBiO3. Okay, it contains 1 sodium, 1 Bi atom, and 3 oxygen atoms. So the charge of sodium is +1. So here the total is +1. And here x, you have to calculate it. And the charge or the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. You have 3 oxygen atoms, so the total is -6. It's a neutral compound, so 1 plus x minus 6 equal, the total must be equal to 0. So x minus 5 equals 0, x equal 5. So the answer is E. 8. In which of the following compounds does nitrogen have an oxidation number of +5? Okay, هلا HNO3 حليناها هون ب question number 5. So oxidation number of nitrogen equal to 5. So the answer is A. Here 0, because one type of atom. NO2, the charge is 4. And 2O, the charge is +1. And NH2OH, it contains 1 nitrogen, 3 hydrogen, so +3, and 1 oxygen, -2. So x plus 3 minus 2 equals 0. So x plus 1 equals 0. So the charge is -1 for nitrogen. So the answer is A. Now question 9. The oxidation number of oxygen in OF2. Okay. it's an exception if you remember. It contains 1 oxygen and 2 fluorine atoms. The rule, according to rule number 2, F in all its compound, it carry fluoride ion carry -1. So the total is -2. So here the charge is +2. It's an exception for oxygen. Now, the oxidation number of chromium in Cr2O7 -2. It's a charged molecule. What is the rule for charged molecule? When you add the oxidation numbers of elements, it must be equal to -2. So here in this compound you have 2 chromium and 7 oxygen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, according to the rules, oxygen carry -2. So here the total is -14. And here X, you have to calculate it. So it's a charged molecule. So when you add oxidation number to each other, must be equal to the charge. So X +14 or +14, X equal 12. So here X equal 12. You have 2 chromium atoms with total charge +12. So each carry +6.